Bag, I want the bag. Work my way from a garden to a track. Flip it from a track to a plot full of acres. Do it for the farmers and producers and the makers. What we even here for? Occasionally I ask it. I know it's more than struggling, anticipating the casket. Reap what we sow, trying to fill up my basket. Life's a plantation, I self-law and master. Over the plot I've been granted on this planet. Now it's slanted, cause the chosen been supplanted. But if you overstand it, it was spoken. Fractured, but we ain't broken. Even though some would rather play the role of token, we growing. Black through the essence of our presence. We carry the blood of gods, we carry the mind of peasants. Rich black gardens, future look more like Eden. Multiply seeds like the seed banks in Sweden. Rep my planners on plan according to season. B1 code, switching it up is treason. Black power, family what we eat. Either we get fed or we feed. B1AG.
What's going on? What's going on? What is going on? I'm John Hennry Harris, and this is B1AG Daily Bread Podcast. I'm holding down the fort today. Farmer Brown DMC will return tomorrow. Here at B1AG, we do focus on Black agriculture as it pertains to agricultural production, education, marketing, health, food, nutrition, and economics, all for the Black family and for the Black community. Welcome Black to the garden. I got to be honest with y'all today. Today's story is very disturbing to me. Now, since August, when they first announced the New York City mandates, requiring you to show a pass to show that you have been treated or jabbed for you to eat indoors or at a restaurant was passed. We've been following this story. And we brought up the hypothetical, situation of would they really deny people food? Will they really deny people food? Well, it's not hypothetical anymore. Today's story is going to focus on what happened in New York City at a Panera Bread. And it's very disturbing. Hunger Games. A New York man arrested for buying food without pass. This is a major turning point, y'all. Now, we are in a pandemic, and the severity of this, of what's going on, it's serious, and we understand that. But to deny people food, that's taking it to another level, to where it doesn't even make sense. Brother on Twitter, Leroy Press, he actually caught the incident, and I just want y'all to see it for yourself. This is off of his Twitter page at Leroy Press. Let me go ahead and give you this is the URL to his Twitter page, but I just want y'all to see this for yourself because it's pretty indicative of the madness that is going on in America at this moment.
You don't deserve to touch that flag, sir. Give him the flag. The flag does not touch the ground. The flag does not touch the ground. The Constitution of the United States has been violated. I cannot eat, and my sisters and brothers cannot work. And the NYPD, I'm not resisting. I'm complying 100%. No weapons, no bras, no ammo. No weapons, no bras, no ammo. No weapons, no bras, no ammo. No weapons. We got the flag, man. We got it. know what's gonna happen for my money. I'm not protesting. I want my food that I ordered. I'm a paying customer with a receipt already. If I don't get my money back, there's gonna be a problem here, officer. Thank you very much. Come on. I expect my order. I expect my order. I'm a paying customer. I ordered already. I don't understand why I'm not getting my food, officer. Where's my food? I'm an American who deserves to eat their food. Excuse me, I want my food.
I am an American. I paid my money. I have my receipt already. Where's my food? He did not get his food. This is highly indicative of the hypocrisy that's going on right now surrounding this pandemic and these mandates. Food is the number one defense to being healthy. Food and water. Yet they are willing to deny people the right to that. And have we forgotten, food is a fundamental human right. This is a fundamental human right. Now, this is according to the United Nations. Food, the right to food is recognized in the 1948 Universal Declaration of Human Rights as a part of the right to an adequate standard of living and is enshrined in the 1966 International Covenant on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights. It is also protected by regional treaties and national constitutions. Now, according to the United Nations, again, food is a fundamental human right. Since its founding, the United Nations has recognized access to adequate food as both an individual right and a collective responsibility. Everyone has the right to a standard of living adequate for the health and well-being of himself and his family, including food. But this is where we're at now. This is where we're at now. Somebody please make it make sense to me. Actually arrested for trying to buy some Panera Bread. The paying customers did not receive their food. Even if they were not allowed to dine inside, they paid their food, they paid their monies, give them their food or their money back. Neither was done. And as we saw during that exchange, I don't know how patriotic you are, but these are officers who actually threw the flag on the ground. For me, that is highly reflective of what this country now really how they view our rights in that Constitution and all the things that this country was supposed to be built on. They're tossing that to the side. It's being tossed to the side. Is this the beginning of a food war? Hunger Games? Is this really the beginning of that? How far will they go? For some people, it will be inconceivable that an American, and that guy who was arrested is a 42-year-old Army veteran. He was actually arrested 3 times in 1 week for trying to buy food because he had not taken the jab and doesn't have a mandate pass that declares his status. This country will literally say you cannot come in here to buy food. Now, this is just one incident, but there have been many others up in New York City. There have been scores of people who have been arrested and denied sitting at Applebee's because they don't have their mandate pass or they're not wearing their mask. Denied food. How far will it go? It's restaurants now. It used to, for some people, like I said, it would be inconceivable that they would deny you food. Would they do this at a grocery store? It's not as inconceivable as it was before. This is something B1AG has been following since August. We're now coming into the new year, right before Christmas. This country is changing. Our food system is challenged. Our access to food, just the basic access to food, is being challenged. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. I say this almost daily. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Here at B1AG, we like to stay proactive, stay ahead of the curve. We seen this coming back in August. We talked about it. That we must grow our own food. It is imperative that we get back black to the garden and start growing our own food. I just showed you a video of a man getting arrested for trying to buy some Panera Bread because of these mandates. Now, it's been less than a week since, a judge overturned the temporary halt in the mandates, and we see that they are going all out to enforce these mandates. One way to mitigate, one way to make sure that you're not denied food is to have food, have your own food, grow your own food. Ideally, I wish we could all produce all the food that we need to sustain ourselves. But that's why it's important for a critical mass of people to get together and start growing food so we'll have food in abundance and also a variety of food that we can trade amongst each other. And it's talking about money. If you're growing your own food, that's less money you have to spend on food, which is more money in your pocket. At the end of the day, these mandates, they are affecting the way we're going to be able to eat. And as he stated in that video, this is affecting the way how my people can work. Another old saying that I've been, grown up hearing is, if you don't work, you don't eat. Now, I've witnessed myself, there's a lot of jobs, if you can't show that you've been medically treated, you're not hireable in their eyes. Now, just because you can't get this job or that job or this job, there's still work to do. And that is growing our own food. Farmer Brian and I put together a great program to get you started, to plant that seed at healthyblackfood.com. We're going to continue to stress as a family. We all need to get together and start growing our own food. We need family gardens in every neighborhood, in every community. Community gardens in every community. We've got to get our food up. We got to get our food production up. Most of us, when we think of farming and growing food, we think of conventional farming, big wide spaces and tractors. Urban farming is going to be key in the survival of our people, in the survival of our country, in the survival of the people of this world. Growing in containers, growing in barrels, buckets, pots, on your balconies, on your porches, in your yards. I've even joked about it, but it's very doable. Even growing in old shoes. We've seen examples of people growing in dresser drawers, pulling out old, like discarded dressers that hold clothes, take the drawers, line them with fabric, put soil in there and grow food in them. Anything that can hold soil, you can grow food in it. It's that serious, y'all. It is that serious. We need to spread this word, y'all. It's that serious. Like, share, and subscribe to B1AG Daily Bread Podcast on YouTube. Let's spread this word. What do you think they have in store for the new year? Hunger Games. Now, we know one of the best ways to keep your immune system high and vibrant is eating healthy foods. But they would deny you that and say that, nah, for you to be healthy, you have to get this treatment, an experimental treatment. That doesn't even stop you from getting sick. That doesn't even stop you from transmitting it to others. Make it make sense to me. What do y'all think? Could you imagine in the city that you live in being denied access to a restaurant, being denied access to a grocery store because you can't show a card that says, I've been treated? This is what this is where we're headed. This is where we're at. It's here. It's not theoretical anymore. It's not inconceivable anymore. It's happened. It's here. And those police officers were very aggressive in their stands and enforcing this mandate. Now, our great elder, Frederick Douglass, is well documented on speaking how slave owners use food as a weapon of control. Farmer Brown MC, he often says, he who feeds you leads you. He who feeds you leads you. Let's lead ourselves to the promised land. Let's lead ourselves to that great harvest by getting black to the garden. This is not the only answer. This is not the only answer, but it is one of the most practical answers where the power is in our hands and has always been in our hands and is in our DNA to grow food. It is a survival skill. There's nothing controversial about it. Every single civilization that has ever been on this planet, the first thing they have to do is secure food production. We're showing that they are willing to use food as a means of coercion to make you do whatever they say they want you to do. And if we look back in history, this isn't the first time. This is not even anything new. They've done this before. And it's outlined very good on, go to twitter.com at Leroy Press. It's outlined very well there, different points in human history where they've used food or access to food as a means of coercion. Like even in the Black American experience, remember how they had coloreds only and whites only, water fountains. There's only a degree of separation from that. There was a time where, we couldn't even go into these restaurants just because of the color of our skin. Now it's not necessarily based on the color of your skin, but on your status. Food is a fundamental human right. Food is a fundamental human right. Those watching live, what do you feel? How do you feel about this? Right now they're leaving it up to the states to decide how far they're willing to take these mandates. But the pressure is on. The pressure is on. The pressure is on. I mean, it's time. It's time that we really reclaim this power that we've always had. And that is the ability to feed ourselves. That's the ability to feed ourselves. We all have to eat. Every living organism on this planet, human or animal, has to eat. We're seeing the lengths that they're willing to go to coerce you into a treatment that you may or may not agree with. They're willing to take your ability to get a job. They're willing to take your ability to get food, which is a basic fundamental right. Think about that. We've gone into war with other countries under the auspice of they're mistreating their people by not allowing them to eat. We went to war for other countries to fight for other countries' right to eat. Look what they're doing. We're going to continue to toll this bell, sound these trumpets, beat these drums. It's time to grow our own food. At least get started. Get that working knowledge on how to grow your own food. I've said many times on this broadcast, on this podcast, one of my favorite shows growing up was Little House on the Prairie. Still is. I love that show. But it's a great model of self-sufficiency. We can look towards the Amish. They're not affected by what's going on because they produce what they need for themselves. We need to get ourselves in line and in position to do the same. Now, Brother Lockridge, he says, unfortunately, people aren't built that way anymore. We need to rebuild ourselves. It's time to go back. These are basic fundamentals of survival, of living, that we have neglected. It's time to go back. It's time to go black. You got to grow our own food, y'all. It's that simple. It's very simple. It's even a simple process. Choice. What choice are you going to make? Be hungry or not? I can tell you from personal experience, real life personal experience, growing up with my grandfather, farming with my grandfather here in South Georgia. You just don't understand the power that you possess when you can feed yourself and it's not tied to how much money, fiat currency, is in your pocket. Now, there are times, especially around harvest season, my grandfather used to tell me, John, I can't fold my wallet. I can't fold my wallet. Because he had so much money in it. He couldn't fold his wallet. But during those slim times, when that wallet folded way too easy, we ate the same. We ate the same. And I'm not talking about a snack. I literally every single morning, 3 and 4 course breakfasts, lunch and dinners, courses. I'm talking about breakfast was like grits, eggs, bacon, sausage, toast, biscuits, fried apples, 4 or 5 different types of jellies and jams, 4 or 5 different types of juices, cinnamon rolls, homemade from scratch cinnamon rolls, not out the can, everything made from scratch. Every single day, 3 times a day. And that's whether my grandfather couldn't fold his wallet, or if that wallet folded over so easy, folded over easier than doggone eggs. We ate great, we ate rich, we ate wealthy. We were healthy. We are healthy. And it all starts with what we put in our food, when we put in our mouths, when we put in our refrigerators, cooking on the stove, air fryer, or whatever. We can't forget what living really is, what brings life. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. This is where we're at, y'all. If you're just trying to buy some food, this is where we're at. Again, I don't know how patriotic you are, but they actually threw that American flag on the ground. This is an Army veteran, 42-year-old Army veteran. Ain't this what Kaepernick was talking about? And this is what Colin Kaepernick was talking about? The power's in our hands, though. The power's in our hands. Urban farming, using those rooftops in the cities. This is what those New York and Brooklyn, this is what they need to do ASAP. Start growing on those rooftops. This is what they're doing in cities like Chicago, Detroit, Cincinnati. They're growing in the hood. They're growing in the projects. This is what they're doing in Atlanta. This is what they're doing in major cities, creating high tunnels and greenhouses so they can grow year round in urban areas. This is what they're doing. They're taking these discarded communities and bringing them back to life with agriculture, bringing forth food. They're taking land that was thrown away and turning it into a cornucopia, a harvest. This is the power of our people, making the most out of the least. And we're going to have to tap into that power more and more and more. moving forward. Times are changing. It's not a theory anymore. It's not will they or could they. They've done it now. The precedence is set. What are you going to do to protect yourself and your family? What are you going to do? I'm looking in the comments. Like our viewers like Nathaniel Lockridge. He's ready. He's getting ready. Filled the freezer with just last week with deer meat. Said he got his peppers close to my tomatoes because they're hot. Sister Rhonda Moffitt, she calls her backyard her grocery store. Her backyard is her grocery store. Who gonna stop her from going in her backyard? Who's gonna stop her from going in her backyard? Oh, I can't come to your establishment to eat? Okay, fine. I'll go to my backyard. Can y'all see the power in that? Frederick Douglass warned us and told us this is highly documented. Slave owners use food as a weapon of control. Those slave owners, the whips and the chains, that was part of it. Denying them food was an extension of that. Feeding them just enough so they could work was an extension of that. Food access has always been hand in hand with social justice. He who feeds you leads you. Folks ain't felt pain until their money can't buy food. You talking about hunger pains? This money, that fiat currency, your debit card, your credit card, what you put all this faith into, your belief into, when that doesn't work or is not accepted, oh, that's a wake-up call. Do you want to wait until you have to feel that pain? Or can you see the pain that man was in and say, I don't want to feel that. I don't want to have to go through that. So let me take the steps in order for me and my family to be food secure. The last thing I want my family to do is be able to come home and be like, baby, I can't get you any food. As a mother, as a father, You don't want to tell your family that. Here at B1AG, we know and we stress food is a fundamental human right. But that doesn't mean we have to wait for them to give it to us, because it is here for everyone. All this hunger in the world, but there's enough food for everybody to eat. All this hunger in the world, but there is enough food for everyone. Everyone. This entire civilized and uncivilized world is built on food. It's built on agriculture. If you don't eat, you perish. You can't have a country, a government, a society without food. You have to eat. I long for the day when people depend on their gardens and producing their own food the way so many people depend on swiping. That's such a great day. I get chills thinking about it. Well, they can't threaten to cut your food off because you grow your own. Agriculture is not just for the country. Agriculture is not for the poor or the downtrodden. Growing food is something that's made for slaves. That's a survival skill that's here for everyone. We're all supposed to do this. We're all supposed to do this. Find a black farmer near you. Here's the link. If you got to pause, go back, rewatch, pause, and write this down. Get this URL. Find a black farmer near you. They're already doing what we need to do, growing food. It's time to educate ourselves on where is this food being produced at, where is it located, how can I get access, how can I become a part of this? I don't know if all y'all, I don't know if any of y'all watched that BMF series on, talking about BMF, and they had a character on there named Lamar. And he was talking about how, like, whenever he was getting ready to off somebody, about how he cut their water off. He called it cutting their water off. Don't give anybody the power to cut your water off. This is serious, y'all. And this is exactly what they're doing, using food as a weapon. Using food as a weapon. Time to strap up, y'all. If they want to use food as a weapon, all right. Then let's get weapons. And I ain't talking about guns, although we need those. I'm talking about produce. I'm talking about lettuce, tomatoes, potatoes, sweet potatoes, peppers. I'm talking about chickens, cows, eggs, whatever you want to eat, however your diet, whatever you like to eat and is a major part of your diet, grow it, get it, cultivate it for yourself. For your wealth. Grow it for yourself, grow it for your own wealth. Got to do it. Again, like, share, and subscribe. We got to grow this conversation. We've got to. Look how quickly things are changing. This is happening for trying to buy food. For trying to buy food. This is America. Here at B1AG, we're going to continue to push what we call the Black algorithm. To fight against this algorithm, see, they don't want this message to get out. They don't want us talking about growing our own food and being self-sustainable. So we need to like, share, and subscribe. We need more people involved. Like, share, and subscribe. We need more people involved just to get the conversation going. But we need more people putting seeds in the ground where they are. We need more people teaching our children, our young nieces, nephews, kids, cousins, the importance of growing their own food. That garden, that one plant, even if you just start with a cup and a one seed, that one seed is almost like that's your own laboratory. You're gonna learn so much. To be in a laboratory, you don't have to have on a white coat and goggles. Your garden can be your laboratory. All you need is some dirt and a shovel and some seeds. Let's get your doctorate in growing food. Let's get back accustomed to eating healthy foods. And watch how many of these pre-existing conditions start to disappear in our community. High blood pressure, diabetes, cancer. All these things that come from the food that we eat. This is a mission that we are on. B1AG, John Henry Harris, Farmer Brown MC. This is our mission. To get our people black to the garden. Overwhelmingly, we've let them trick us out of our birthright. It was our forefathers that built this country on agriculture, albeit by force. This is intrinsic knowledge that we have. This is how Black Wall Street was built, was on agriculture first, because they had to feed themselves. Those freed slaves, they began to dominate that world of agriculture for themselves. If you can feed yourself with no problem, everything else comes easy. Just think about this in your own life. Now, there have been times you might be in between checks or whatever, in between paydays. Those can be rough times. I don't like using this word, but I'm gonna use it for this context. It's being broke. Not having money, not having enough money in this society can be rough. But if you don't have enough money and you're hungry, that's a whole different set of problems that brings on a whole different set of desperations. That's hunger pain. So we're going to continue to push this black algorithm, fighting against the algorithm with your help. We need more people. There's so much inspiration and knowledge and encouragement that goes on in our comment sections during our lives. We have some amazing people watching this show. Amazing people. It's time to connect. Let's connect.
Pushing the black algorithm. Ancestors, they mastered the systems. We raising young bosses, no victims. Planting that knowledge curriculum. Blessing the roots with the nutrients. The darker the berry, like Nubian. Dropping receipts like I'm Julian. The streets with that food like Peruvian. Trapping the merch and the fruits and the veggies. CSA boxes, my package is heavy. Ship across town in the bed of my Chevy. Printing them up, growing hard for that baby. If you stay ready, you ain't gotta scramble. Bet on black farmers and growers, no gamble. Reclaiming our pain cause the game is in shambles. Blessed with that melanin, carry the miracle. Mothers and fathers of civilization. Black to the garden with food cultivation. Building back better through black innovation. B1 community growing the nation. Genetically designed to be the dopest. Stoking that growth mindset. Codified, now we focus. Farming on back on track. Feed the fam, break bread with them. Pushing that B1AG algorithm. Now watch me get them, watch me get them. Pushing that B1AG algorithm. Feed the fam, break bread with them. Pushing that B1AG algorithm. Watch me get them, watch me get them. Pushing that B1AG algorithm.
For all those watching live, I'm dropping in the comment section how to find a black farmer near you. This is the best that we can find on public record. You know, it's all the black-owned farms and food gardens across the country. It's one of the most comprehensive lists that we can find, provided by shopblack.us. We got to patronize our black farmers. We need to grow food ourselves, but we do have an army. I call them an army of black farmers that have been doing this for decades. You know, this is their family farms. This is what their family does. This is what they do. And we must support them. We must learn from them. Remember, eating healthy is the first line of defense for any sickness or disease. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Many hands make light work. We're going to continue to push these tenements, these sentiments. I don't know what else to do, y'all. Like, what y'all want me to do? Do I have to get up and dance to evoke? Do I gotta twerk to get people to get in the garden? Y'all don't want to see that. They use twerking to get us to the polls. Do we got to use twerking to get us back in the garden? I hope not. I'd like to thank y'all for today. I thank the Most High for today and all that He provides. Let's take advantage and use what we're provided to the best of our abilities for greatness, for survival. Not just survival, for thrivalism. We ain't just trying to survive, we're trying to thrive. That thrivalism. Surviving is just the bare minimum. We're about thriving around here. So if you really want to know something, let's get on our P's and Q's, let's stand on our square and learn how to grow something. I'm John Henry Harris for B1AG, Daily Bread Podcast. Farmer Brown to be back soon. Until then, be blessed, be loving, be gracious, and let's grow harder. Peace.